something was wrong with me. What am I doing wrong? Why can't I do this? Other people are doing it. Why can't I do this? And so it took a 4-month process for me to process this, reading, researching, actually talked to a coach, networked with people, tried to figure out what was wrong. And I thought that there was something wrong with me fundamentally. I'm doing something wrong. But what I realized is that mentally, I was doing all the right things. I just have to let it happen and just continue to put that work in. So it took me 2 more years to hit the $1 million. But what I realized was, and it goes back to this balance of happiness and production, what I learned is there's a gray area. There's a gray area where you can be satisfied with where you are and still extremely hungry to go to the next level. And that's where you really want to be. Because if you're just a super productive person and you always have this goal that you keep pushing out further and further every time you get closer to it, you just want to go higher and higher and higher, and you're never really happy because you're never really hitting the goal. Have the same mentality. Let's move our goals out. Let's keep trying to go higher and higher and higher, but be happy in the moment as well. And that's what I had a problem with, and that's where the patience comes in. So you got to believe, work hard, adapt, and be patient. Now, I want to share 5 things about my business. I do business a lot differently than most people. I don't buy leads. I tried buying leads back in maybe 2012 or 13 or 14, whenever they first started doing it. Did it for about 3 months. I recently tried Facebook leads, just testing it out. I'm always testing things out. I don't have a CRM, by the way. I'm not saying I'll never not have a CRM. I may at some point. I may change my mind at any moment, right? I'm always trying to figure out how I could be more efficient and do things better. But with leads, what I realized was, this is what I believe. I want you guys to think about this because I really want to help you become more efficient and scalable, okay? The conclusion I came up with is that these companies that are selling leads are basically selling you random people's contact information in your market. Just random people in your market. Oh no, they're motivated. They're looking to buy or sell. Why do you think that? Because they were scrolling, looking at houses. Everybody looks at houses. You may not be interested in doing anything for a year or 2 or 3, but you're just curious of what's sold in your neighborhood or what's on the market in your neighborhood. Oh, they're a motivated buyer or seller. No, they're not. But they sold it to you for hundreds of dollars. I think this is something that you have to think about really hard, because where we allocate our money can be the difference in us surviving, failing, succeeding. Why would I spend hundreds of dollars on a random person in my market's contact information when I can just get people's contact information for less than 3 cents? Targeted people that live in a certain neighborhood. They're the highest quality prospects anyway. They already own the property that I want to sell. Why do I want some random person's contact information? Now, the reason why you're buying leads is because you're scared to get the contact information and then just call those people. And what you're doing is you're just lying to yourself. You're saying, I'm going to spend all this money so I don't have to make this call. I'm going to wait on the lead to get to me. And when it gets to me, then what do I have to do? Call them. So what I'm saying is don't lie to yourself and say, okay, these buyer leads these are motivated leads. I'm going to pay all this money for these motivated leads. In reality, they're just random people in your market. Instead, I want you to trick yourself in the opposite way. I want you to get random people's contact information in your market for less than 3 cents and pretend like they're motivated leads. Oh, we got a question.
What pinpoint or narrow down who's worth calling? Like those random numbers that you locate. Like,
right.
How do you realize this is a number that I should waste my time calling versus
Because they own property.
So just any number,
Yes.
any single one. Just
Anyone.
pick them up and
Any person in your market is a lead, right? Let's move to the second part, best intentions. It doesn't matter to me if my prospect or someone that I'm calling wants to buy or sell property today. Okay? What I care more about is there anything I can do to help them? I don't really care what I can't do for them or what they don't want to do. I want to know what I can do for them. Okay? Nothing? Oh, cool. Is there an agent you would work with? No? Well, look, I'm sure at some point down the road you're going to do something. Would it be okay if I just stayed in touch? Cool. What's your email? Boom. Now I'm sending them a weekly email every week. Now I'm using that email to target them on social media, and now I'm building my brand with this person that I talked to, and they trusted me enough because the tone of my voice and my body language, even though I'm on the phone, they can hear your body language. They felt comfortable enough with me to give me their private information. Why? Because I didn't ask them if they wanted to buy or sell something. I had dinner after the VIP night with my buddy that lives in Dallas. He's not a real estate agent. And we were talking about this. And I haven't talked to him in years, and we were talking about, me speaking and how I'm coaching for free and how it all works and all this stuff. And I was telling him the dynamics of the whole thing. And he said, you know what, that is interesting because there's a homeless guy right around the corner here, and I was walking past, and he came up, and he asked me where I'm from. He didn't ask me for any money. He just asked me where I'm from. And then he said they kind of had a little conversation. He said, oh, I'm from Alabama and stuff, Mobile. And the guy said, oh, yeah, I know Mobile, the underwater tunnel and all that stuff. And they had a little conversation. The guy never asked him for $1. My buddy said, see you later, and left. The next day, he saw the homeless guy, and he gave him some money. Why? Because the homeless guy didn't ask him for money like all the other homeless people. He was actually curious about my buddy. And he created kind of a little relationship with him. And my buddy knew that he needed money. He's homeless. So next time he's seen him, he's like, I like that guy. I'm going to give him some money. So what I don't want you guys to do is sound like every other real estate agent. How he didn't sound like every other homeless person begging for money. I don't need you people, you agents, acting like every other real estate agent begging for deals. I'm going to take one question at the end of this. This is something that I realized through the crash. It's so abundant, okay? And here's the problem. Let's say, hypothetically, there's a market that has 20,000 agents and only 5,000 transactions a year. You look at that and you think, it's not unlimited. There's no way. There's only so many there's not even enough for one transaction. It's 0.25 transactions per agent on average. But I guarantee you that there's an agent out of that 20,000 that understand this. They're probably doing several hundred of those deals. Okay? What I want you to look at when you're looking at a market is not the opportunity of transactions. I want you to think about it in terms of the opportunity of relationships in the market.